So hi guys, as you can see by the title, this is a story time video. A story time, but it's not a very happy story time. I decided if I'm going to be on YouTube and I'm going to be cooking for the world and talking to the world and sharing everything that I do almost every day with the world, I might as well just tell you more about me and the things that I've been through. That way my haters don't have nothing over me. So I figured I'm going to share with you guys the time when my sister died. So let's get right into it. So my sister's friends would be my friends. So me just wait for have the friends them, and then me automatically becomes friends with them, or me just come friend with our friends them. So it so happens that we moved from New York, because when we first come to America, we live in New York or Brooklyn, all I would live. So you know, as the years went by, that she got tired of New York, and as usual, if she went left, I went left. So she moved to Connecticut, and I moved along with her, and we both lived in a little town they called Waterbury, Connecticut, right? So anyway, years go by, you know, I have my kids, she has her kids, and we're raising these children as single moms and stuff. We had a good time. We had our ups and we had our downs, but at the end of the day, we were sisters, and I love her unconditionally. We'd bump it sometime, but hey, we're sister and bump it, right? But anyway, it so happens that you know, she was a single mom and she met someone and fell in love. To be honest, because in my story times, I'm going to keep it real. So if you're a family member that is watching this, welcome to the real world, because I'm not going to cover anything and sugarcoat anything. A lot of you not talk to me, so you cannot talk to me some more. It don't matter, but I'm going to keep it real. So if you wanted to know the depths of this that you didn't know in real life, now you're going to know. So keep watching. So anyway, my sister met someone, fell in love. I was very happy for her because she was lonely. If I wasn't in a relationship either myself, because I just gotten out of a long relationship for years and years. We was together, and I've just gotten out of it, and so we was both single, having fun, going parties and all that stuff. It was fun. So she met someone, and I was very happy for her. She was happy, she was laughing and all that stuff, and I was happy for her. But a couple of months into their relationship, because we both work at the same place, you know, we did everything together. We never did nothing without each other. And so one day while I was at work, and she, you know, on lunch and stuff, and we was talking, and they said to me, sis, you know, I started to feel fun about this guy, you know. I said, what happened? You know, she started telling me that, you know, she noticed some little changes about him. She think he's seen somebody else and all that stuff. But as a sister, you know you're going to tell your sister, you know that don't sound good, but deep inside you don't want to tell your sister, listen, get out of it, leave him alone, because you don't want it to come back and bite you, you know. So you have to be careful, because next thing you know, you tell her, leave him alone, and next thing you know, she go tell the man, so you tell him to leave him alone. So anyway, I was kind of cautious about what I was saying to her, as far as when she was telling me about the red flag and all of that. So anyway, another week, it so happened that she's at work, I'm at work, and we're at lunch again, and she said to me, you know something, I'm leaving because, you know, he seems to think that I'm overweight and all that stuff. My sister was a big, beautiful woman, the most beautiful sister one could ever had. She was pretty, real pretty. She was thick, a thick girl, but you know what? She had beautiful shape. Everybody loved her, you know. She was easy to get along with. Like me tell her, say, me couldn't make friends. She made other friends, and then they became my friends. So she had personality which she didn't even realize she had. But anyway, she said she was going to leave him because, you know, she noticed some of the things about him that she didn't want to be bothered with and stuff like that. She, you know, she put him out. He had moved in and stuff like that, and she put him out. So on that Friday, because she told me that Friday at work, and it so happened that I had to make a run to New York, and I said to her, sis, you know, I forgot New York, you know, so, you know, I'll probably come back Sunday, but I gotta go to New York. And we said, alright, no problem. So while I'm in New York, my daughter would call me and say, Mom, you know, Auntie is calling here and stuff like that, asking for you. So I'm like, she shouldn't call and answer me because she knows I'm in New York. But anyway, I called her and she says, you know, I just miss you and stuff. I don't know why I'm just missing you like that. So I'm like, you know, somebody in New York, girl. Like, I know you're gonna New York, but I don't know why I just miss you, like, extra miss you. So I kind of felt bad, like, damn, I haven't heard this from my sister in a minute. She never told me that she missed me this much in a long time. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna wrap whatever I'm doing in New York. I'm just gonna wrap it up. I'm just gonna jump in my car. I'm just gonna drive back to Connecticut. I'm gonna go see my sister because I never heard her telling me this much that she missed me, like crying, kind of missed me. So anyway, I jumped in my car that Saturday and I drove home, and I went straight to her house, and she said to me, sis, you know, yes, to her, I said, you know, no, you miss me. She said, I don't know why I just miss this. I said, all right. Even though I was tired, I was exhaustingly tired because I'm driving all the way from New York to all the way up to the boondocks. Anybody been to Connecticut, you know where Waterbury is. It's a good drive from New York. Anyway, where Waterbury is. But I got home and stuff, and she said, all right, you know, let's do something. So I was like, damn, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to go to bed. But anyway, I felt so bad that she missed me so much, you know, and then I'm going to just go home and do nothing. So I'm like, all right, sis, let's hang out tonight. So we decided to go to this little spot they had on North Main Street in Waterbury, and we went there that night with a couple of friends, and we had a good time. The boyfriend that she had at the time, he was a chef and he was working. It was the club that we was is a club and a restaurant all in one little Jamaican spot. And so we were there and we was having a good time. But then all of a sudden I noticed that him and her started bickering inside of the club. But there was a little distance from me, so I couldn't hear what he was saying to her, but I know they were arguing. And so when she walked back to where I was standing, she said, sis, you know something? I want to go home. I'm ready to go home. And I'm like, what happened? Why you want to go home? And she's like, you know, the boy there acts stupid, you know, and him having a woman cross the street and all of that. So I'm just going to go home. I'm like, what happened? She's like, the boy put me down and all of that stuff. I talk about my big and ray. I'm like, you know what? Let's go. Because I'm trying not to argue with him or not like that. Because at this point, when she, you know, she telling me all this stuff about him, I'm like, not feeling him at all. So I'm not having no conversations with him. But not arguing with him, but I'm not having no conversation. Like, we buddies are not like that. So anyway, I didn't drive my car that night. She came to my house and picked her car. So we all got in her and she dropped me off at my house and she went home. So usually when we go home and stuff like that, you know, after we settle in and get into bed, then we would call each other and we would chit chat on the phone and talk about who was wearing what and who never looked good and who didn't look good and all that stuff, and how the party did nice, and we talk about everything. So I'm sitting there waiting for her to call me and I'm not getting a call back. So I'm like, okay, it's 5 in the morning, because she dropped me off at about 4:30 in the morning. So I'm like, 5 o'clock off in the morning, she not call me. About 15 after 5, my phone ring, and then my daughter on the phone, and she's crying, and she's like, mommy, auntie got shot, and she's not moving. She's sitting up in her bed, and her head is tilted to one side, and she's not moving, and she's not talking. And I'm like, listen, when she told me this, you know how you just start jump up and start run up and down and act crazy and jump for your shoes and your jacket and thing, forget to go rescue your sister. Guys, believe you me, when I got that phone call, this is all me sit down. Freeze up, you know. I couldn't move from my seat. Remember, you know, I get the call and say my sister that I love so much, is shot in her bed, head tilted to one side, not talking, not moving, drooling from the side of her mouth, and I'm sitting there, can't move. Up to this day, I don't understand why I didn't move. I was just shocked, frozen, shocked. Then couple of minutes go by, I'm still sitting there shocked. Then my phone ring again. And I'm like, Dom, we call the cops and the cops on the way and the ambulance on the way. I'm like, this is serious. So getting, I don't know how I managed to get it together. And so I put on my shoes. I think I even went over there with my nightie on. I put on one of those leggings, push my nightie down, and I put on my shoes, through the door. No pocketbook, no nothing. I'm driving like a crazy woman to Waterbury to get to her house with no driver's license, no ID, no nothing. So anyway, I get to her house and the ambulance already gone. So they're like, the cops are there, the kids are there, and they're like, you know, they took her to the hospital. So here I am now driving like a mad woman again to get to the hospital. When I get to the hospital, they're not telling us anything. They're just saying that she's in the ER, she's in critical condition. You know, we need to wait in the waiting area in the lobby. And I'm going hysterical because I'm like, what happened to my sister? Why me can't see her? But anyway, at this time, they said to us, you know, we need to go to the police station. I'm like, why am I going to the police station? If my sister's in the ER or whatever, you know, why am I going to the police station? You know, but anyway, we followed the rules. We said, all right, we'll come back. She's in the ER. She's critical. There's nothing we could do but wait for a phone call. So we went to the precinct, her kids, my kids, and we all went to the police station. And I noticed that they're asking us some questions about the guy and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, wait a minute. So he shot her. He's like, yeah, he shot her, but he's now in police custody. We caught him hiding at the train station, 6 o'clock in the morning. We found the gun. Actually, he showed them where he threw the gun and stuff like that. So finally, I'm like, listen, I don't want to talk to nobody no more. I want to know what's going on. What happened to my sister? Is she okay? Da 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 da. So then the police officer was asking us questions, left the room, and then another one came in, and then another one came in, and then they sat down, and I said, well, we have some not so good news to tell you guys. I'm like, okay. And he's like, your sister is no longer with us. I'm like, oh my God. This thing not register still, you know. This thing not register still. And then he said, yes. I'm like, what do you mean? Yes, my sister is not with us. At this time, her children are screaming. Everybody that's there is screaming. And then he goes, your sister, you know, Marilyn passed away. They tried everything that they could do to resuscitate her. You know, the bullet went through her artery in her leg. It traveled up to her heart, and you know, she bled internally, and they tried for like 45 minutes and they couldn't do anything to bring her back. Boy, that, I think, was the worst day of my entire life. I have had some really crazy experiences with a lot of things in my life, but that news right there was the worst news I think I ever had. Somebody had to tell me that my sister that I just left, not even an hour, she dropped me off at my house. That's why, you see guys, I don't take life for granted, because you could be sitting right here, I could be sitting right here talking with you guys right now and telling you the story, and by tomorrow you see people writing rest in peace to how to cook. It's crazy, you know, it's really crazy, you know. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone. You know, why even worry about the material things? The house and the car and the money and the name brand this and the name brand that, and I argue with people and all that. It's not, it's, you know, it's crazy. I don't know. Well, anyway, comes to find out, this mad boy was seeing someone else. Him and my sister moving together. He was seeing someone else. He would put her down, try to kill her self-esteem, telling her that she was fat and all of that stuff, and making her think that she was nothing, really. But she finally got it together and realized that the boy was bullshitting her, and she put him out. Now, the second him compo decided if him can't have her, nobody else can have her. Even though he's putting her down and on, telling her that she's no good and she's all of that. She's not no this and she's not that. But yet still nobody can have her. So now he picked up on himself to go to her house 5 in the morning while she's in her bed. Go into the house. Even though he says an accident, but accidents don't happen when you point a 9mm shotgun at somebody and pull the trigger. That's not an accident. I forgive him. I forgive him for killing her. I forgive him for killing her. But guys, I could tell you one thing. This. And this is not only for you guys that's out there on YouTube or people that know me that's watching this video, family members, friends, whoever who's watching this video. Let me tell you something. When my sister died, she took 75% of me along with her. My life changed drastically after she died. It's like everything around me changed. Family changed, friends changed, associates changed, everything changed. And you know something? It changed for the worse. It didn't change for the better, it changed for the worse, because what happened was, because she passed away so tragic and so sudden, nobody not getting a chance for like hugs and say goodbye. She wasn't sick. She just get up one day and party and do everything normally, and next thing the mad boy shot her and kill her. But because no one had the time to hug their mom, and no one had the time to tell their friend that they love them or say their goodbyes or whatever, everybody started turning on everybody. And because of the closeness that me and her had, guess what I'm turning the frustration upon? You know? So it was a rough few years after she passed. I mean, you know, everybody was just acting crazy, you know. It was mad. It was MORROW. It was Bellevue. No one, I just felt like no one really cared about how I really felt. No one really cared about how I was hurting. No one really cared about the love that me and her share. Everybody only remember the bad times that me and her had. You know, no one even mentioned the good times. No one even asked me how I was doing. You know, they just turned their frustration on the closest person that they could find to throw their frustration on, and that person was me. But you know what? I believe in the Almighty God, and I prayed about it, and I cried about it, and I went into a little depression about it too, because that was my sister that me and her would do everything together. And we loved each other. We had our bad times, but we had a whole bunch of good times. We used to dress alike like twins. And, you know, I had to wake up, you know, and get my composure back and realize that, listen, she know that I love her. It doesn't matter what nobody think or says, but she know that I love her. We didn't get to, and in a way, I know we said our goodbyes, because when she called me and told me that she missed me and everything like that, that was a goodbye right there. So I have nothing to feel any kind of way about. I just know that up till this day, I miss my sister and I love her to death, but I know that she's in a better place and she's with my mom, because my mom also passed away 3 years after that. and she's taking care of mom now, so I'm good with that. But so let me hide this, guys. If you know anybody out there that is in an abusive relationship but the man beat them up, or you have woman out there will beat up man too, but if you know of anybody that is in an abusive relationship and trying to get out of it, there are programs out there that will help you guys. There you know, there's shelters out there. Take for yourself, because at the end of the day somebody going dead, and more than 90% of the time we a kick the bucket. You know, they beat the shit out of you and you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? If you're lucky, you walk away without scratch and bruises. Just walk away with memories to remember. But more than half the time, you're going to get your ass whooped till you end up in the grave. And I been there with my sister and seen it. And I would have wished it for my worst enemy. So, yeah. So that's my story about when my sister passed away. So, alright guys, hope you enjoyed another story time, real story time. It was depressing and it sent back a lot of memories for me, but I have to get these things off my chest. So yeah. Alright guys, thumbs up, like, share, and remember, if you are in an abusive relationship, you see it now going away, side chick and all them thing there, take for yourself fast. See you in the next video. Bye.